This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Taught to be nice. Ain't about winning, don't taught to me twice. I don't play dice. I'll make a move on the board, it's precise. The fuck is the price? I took a fiddle and dipped in ice. I took a call and now I'm on a flight. Crew heading east, got a booking tonight. First stop is Atlanta. I got breakfast plans at the Waffle House. Next up is Miami. I'm hitting South Beach. Fuck we talking about? Show out, we in Brooklyn. I'm on Flatbush and we rocking out. Then a red eye to Los Angeles. Got a rich bitch waiting on the couch. Life's gonna try to hold you back. They gon' tell you that you still got time. Any minute this could all fade to black. That's why we run it up. Hey, boom, boom.
LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know this. It has never mattered who I am. It has always mattered who you are. Anyways, today is Tuesday, of course, September the 26th of 2023, day 269th of the year, and only 96 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and we're hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yes, hanging out on Radio Big. Which one is this one? Hold on.
He's the man.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Awesome, funny,
Got it. So there you go. We're hanging out on Radio Big, doing all that fun stuff and all that. So let me tell you something. If you're hanging out in Orlando today is the day. It is Safety Day 2023. Yeah, Safety Day 2023. Let's talk about that. Because if you're in Orlando and you're going to be in the International Drive area, if you come out to Alliance for Central Florida Safety, you can come out and do the things that they get to do, all the fun stuff. Listen, $30 today gets you to the event. I think it's still $30. Maybe they raise the price at the door. I never know. $30 gets you the whole day of the speaking event, the interaction, food, and parking for $30. Not a bad deal, Rosen Plaza. Listen, we're going to be broadcasting live from there today. I was hanging out yesterday evening for just a teeny little bit with Jim Bolzel, and he was broadcasting last night with Safety Wars from the Rosen Plaza. So be prepared for this week for you see him coming from there. So we'll do some live stuff. Not sure if we'll be on the social media platforms, but we'll talk about that. But we'll definitely be hanging out on Safety FM throughout the day. Safety FM throughout the day. So if you keep the app open, if you keep the website open, you'll get to listen to all kinds of different shit that we got going on for sure. And then tomorrow, we got the Conklin Conference going on as well. So there are some options if you're interested in doing that in regards to what's going on. So wanted to let you know right away. So today it will be all about Safety Day as we are hanging out there and doing all the fun stuff. I'm in the studio right now before we start doing all the stuff from the conference itself because, hey, let's do the studio surrounding before we get you initiated over there because, hey, why wouldn't we do that? And plus, I love waking up super ass early to come and hang out in here. Now, the event doesn't start till 8 o'clock. That's really what's going on. So just so you know. So let's do this. Let's tell you about our show. Our show talks about safety in the news and safety. So that's one thing. And what happens is you get to interact with the show if you want to do so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com to do the interactions. What that does, it gives you the opportunity of doing some messaging. It gives you the opportunity of doing some video messaging, text messaging, audio messaging, or just coming in live into our little screen right here, which I normally don't do a lot of because I just don't know. Old school radio format says don't let people just show up on your screen because you never know what they're going to do. So just some info. So there you go. That's a lot of stuff that happens inside of our show. So why don't we do this real quick? Why don't we talk about what the hell was trending in the overnight? Because I always think that stuff's important.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so if we talk about the trends of the ends, it kind of goes something like this. Lego is pivoting on the latest green initiative, and a haunted house company in Michigan gets creative. We'll talk about this. Swifties are getting ready to cheer for Travis Kelce, and a couple of celebrity exes come to terms of child custody. We'll talk about that as we get into showbiz in our numero dos. The writer's strike may soon officially be over as a tentative agreement has been made with studios and streamers. So there you go. And then we'll talk about the stuff that's going around in our industry, because why would we not talk about it? I mean, come on. So with that being said, let's talk. I have Trey Thomas waiting over there for me to tell him, hey, go for it, because he got some things to say. He really does. He wants to share with you everything that's going on. Everything that's happening inside of the world, everything that's going on inside of this world of news that we would need to discuss and talk about and all that kind of fun stuff. So why don't we just drop into the news, not in a little bit, but right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. The Writers Guild of America leadership is set to vote today on whether or not to approve a tentative deal that would end the writers' strike. Its negotiating committee reached the agreement with Hollywood's top studios over the weekend, suspending all picketing. If the deal is agreed upon, it would then go to the roughly 11,000 WGA members for approval. President Biden is calling on Congress to pass legislation to fund the government and avoid a shutdown by the end of the month.
A small group of extreme House Republicans, they don't want to live up to that deal, and everyone in America could be faced with paying a price for that.
Following a meeting with the President's Board of Advisors on HBCUs, Biden called on House Republicans to abide by the bipartisan funding agreement he negotiated with Speaker Kevin McCarthy in May. The president added that a shutdown would hurt everyday Americans and disproportionately affect black families. The House Oversight Committee will hold its first hearing on the impeachment inquiry into President Biden on Thursday. It'll likely focus on constitutional and legal questions around the president's alleged involvement in his son Hunter Biden's foreign business dealings during his time as vice president. Committee Chair James Comer also plans to subpoena the personal bank records of Hunter Biden and the president's brother, James Biden. Witnesses for the panel's first hearing were announced Monday, and they include a law professor who testified in the Clinton and Trump impeachments. The president has denied any wrongdoing. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis will debate California Governor Gavin Newsom in late November. Lisa Taylor fills us in.
Fox News host Sean Hannity will moderate the red state versus blue state debate on November 30th in Georgia. The two governors have publicly feuded and criticized each other's policies over the past few years. Hannity first raised the prospect of a debate during a sit-down interview with Newsom in June. The event will mark the first time the two governors will face off in a debate. I'm Lisa Taylor.
And the Bengals took down the Rams in a rematch of Super Bowl 56 on Monday Night Football. Cincinnati defeated Los Angeles 19-16 at Paycor Stadium. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. More than 13,000 ethnic Armenian refugees have crossed into Armenia from Nagorno-Karabakh. Japan, South Korea and China are holding talks to discuss resuming trilateral leader summits. Canada's updated its travel advisory to India, asking citizens there to stay vigilant and exercise caution. And Pakistan's cricket team secured their visas to India at the 11th hour ahead of the Cricket World Cup there.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
An Arizona congressman is attacking Joint Chiefs of Staff Chair Mark Milley, who is retiring this month. Trey Thomas reports.
In his recent newsletter to constituents, Republican Paul Gosar blamed Milley for what took place at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. on January 6, 2021, and suggested he would be hung for his actions in a better society. He accused the former Army Chief of Staff of secretly meeting with former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and treasonously working behind President Trump's back. I'm Trey Thomas.
Former President Trump appeared to be considering buying a handgun while at a campaign stop in South Carolina. A video posted by Trump's spokesman shows the ex-president at a gun store Monday being shown a Glock, then saying, "I want to buy one." However, the spokesperson said he didn't actually purchase the gun, but simply indicated that he wanted one. The gunman who shot 23 people at an El Paso Walmart has agreed to pay more than $5 million in restitution to the victims' families. Brian Shook has the story.
Court documents filed Monday in Texas show Patrick Crusius reached the agreement with prosecutors. Earlier this year, Crusius was sentenced to 90 consecutive life sentences in prison after pleading guilty to federal hate crime charges in connection with the 2019 attack. Authorities say he targeted Hispanics in the rampage, which also wounded more than 20 others. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. I'm Brian Shook.
Costco is recalling 48,000 mattresses due to mold risk. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission announced the recall after customers reported 541 instances of mold for the Novaform Comfort Grande 14-inch and the Dreamaway 8-inch mattresses that are sold exclusively at Costco. And actor David McCallum, most recently known for his role on CBS NCIS, is dead. The veteran actor died Monday surrounded by family at New York Presbyterian Hospital. He was 90 years old. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service Anything from inspecting the law site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Warning. Listening to other radio stations could cause testicle shrinkage.
I'm talking the truth.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Okay, let's do some self-imploding on these airwaves, because that's what we do around here, apparently. Anyway, so you are still listening to the Rated R Safety Show. It is 16 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out, doing the things that we get to do. You know, doing that thing you do. Okay, sorry, that's something else. Okay, so let's get into it a little bit more. Let's get into the shit list right away. Have you tried the Scandinavian sleep method? Yeah, it's a simple solution to the blanket-hogging spouse that is better than kicking them in the to the couch or in the crotch. Here's how it works. Instead of going to bed with one comforter or one blanket, each sleeper gets their own, and that's it. Influencer Erica Stolman Dowdy tried the sleep method after hearing about it on a recent trip to Europe and said that the results have been absolutely game-changing. 1010 recommended via The Sun. The experts agree. The Sleep Foundation said that sharing a blanket could lead to more wake-ups during the night if one sleeper is stealing all the covers, and so 2 blankets would be an easy solution. I don't know what method you're using, but you are definitely off your rocker, because that is not the way to sleep.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
I'm not sleeping next to my spouse with 2 blankets. What kind of bullshit is that? Anyways, let's continue talking real quick. About 2 years ago, toys company Lego announced that they would be testing a new formula to make their iconic bricks that use recycled plastic bottles instead of new ones, oil-based plastic, in order to make their building sets more eco-friendly. Turns out, in order to upgrade to the factories with the new equipment to handle the new brick-making formula, the company would have burned more carbon emissions over time. In other words, the reformulated bricks weren't going to have as much aggregated impact on carbon emissions anyways. Meanwhile, Lego says it expects to ditch the plastic bags that contain the bricks within each package by 2025. Exclusively use recyclable paper. So there you go. Hey, listen. Not every method to somebody's madness is going to work the way that you want it to. It's just not the way that it goes. So there you go. Stuff to think about. Things to go into. Things to sequence as you're going forward. Anyways, a couple has been compensated by the Singapore Airlines for the hours of flatulence that they endured during a flight from Paris to Singapore in June. Gil and Warren Press ended up sitting next to a passenger that his pup, who has reportedly had them reaching for oxygen masks shortly after takeoff. Things were so bad that the dog constantly farting and snorting that they opted to give up their premium seat to sit in economy. After months of back and forth with the airlines, the presses were given a refund of $1,410, which they plan to donate to guide dog organizations. So listen, let me ask you something. If you're going back and forth for months at some particular point, and all you're getting is a refund for something that you already paid, I think there might be some issues. No, seriously, I think there might be some issues. And listen, I'm glad that you're deciding to donate this going forward, but shit, man, what a disaster. Well, I guess what a crap load of stuff in there as well. Anyways, a haunted house operator in Michigan is turning into a fresh supply of short-term labor, striking automaker Amanda Bilski works nearby the Ford plant that isn't currently picketing or striking, and operates the pumpkin patch that in a haunted house with her family as a side hustle. To show support, she's hiring her colleagues currently out of work. So far, there's been 20 some odd UAW workers who have expressed interest in our offer. Well, they're pocketing about $10 an hour for dressing up like monsters. This is via WXYZ. Hey, listen, money's money. It's the way I look at it. Way you have to do it. I mean, and you get to scare some people for Halloween. I mean, no, it's not a bad deal. Think about it. Anyways, a pair of tickets to the very play at which Abraham Lincoln was assassinated have sold at auction for more than $262,000. Seats for the 41 and 42 in Section D would put the ticket holder in front of the row of the balcony. Only one other authentic used ticket from the play that night is known to exist and is held at the Harvard libraries, but even that artifact is torn. This is according to AP. So there you go. There you go. What do you think? Does it make you go, huh? I want that ticket. I want that ticket. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what tickets you want. I'm just saying. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about some money matters, because I think that this is going to be important. So let's go ahead and talk about that. I have Aaron Royale waiting in the wings to talk about what the hell's going on.
Amazon is investing as much as $4 billion into an artificial intelligence company called Anthropic. That's in exchange for partial ownership over the company and its use of Amazon Web Services. The partnership could be a sign of more tech firms with cloud computing resources using them to get in further with AI. AWS will become Anthropic's primary cloud provider as part of the deal. It looks like a tentative agreement between the Writers Guild of America and Hollywood's top studios could bring an end to the ongoing writer's strike. But Dominic Patton of Deadline warns that there are still a number of roadblocks before people's favorite shows return.
Even if the writers do make a deal, even if that deal gets ratified by their membership, but you're not going to see anyone in front of a camera until the Actors Union make their deal.
The Guild released a statement over the weekend saying that the deal was made possible by the enduring solidarity of WGA members and extraordinary support of our union siblings. The writers' walkout began more than 140 days ago, bringing the film and TV industry to a halt. While union members still need to formally vote to end the walkout, actors will continue to strike until the SAG-AFTRA union also reaches a deal with the studios. Drugstore chain Rite Aid is negotiating with creditors over the terms of a bankruptcy plan that would include liquidating a substantial portion of its more than 2,100 drugstores. Pippa Stevens has more.
Rite Aid has proposed to close roughly 400 to 500 stores in bankruptcy and either sell or let creditors take over its remaining operations. The pharmacy chain operates more than 2,300 stores in 17 U.S. states.
Nissan says it's going fully electric in Europe. The Japanese automaker reaffirmed its goal on Monday of selling only electric vehicles on the continent by 2030. A company statement called the decision the right thing to do for business, customers, and the planet. Nissan partner Renault, along with rivals Ford and Stellantis, have all announced plans to go fully electric with their new European passenger vehicles by 2030. Consumer and business news, Aaron Royale, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Aaron Royale, for the information, because it's always important. No, I'm being serious. It's always important to know what exactly the hell is going on out there, because, hey, if we don't know what's going on, who the hell else is going to know what's going on? I'm just asking the question, of course, because that's what I do around here. I ask questions. Other people give me answers because I don't know the answers to most of the questions that I ask. Yeah, and anyways, I don't think I like answers sometimes because they get rid of the questions that I have. Yeah. What kind of weird cluster F is all this stuff? Anyways, let me tell you what I have found in regards to what's going on with the numbers. The Dow added about 43 points to close at 34,006 on Monday. The S&P was up by 17 points to close at 4,337, and the NASDAQ increased by 59 points to close at 13,271. West Texas Intermediate closed at $89 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $92 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.84 on Monday, and Bitcoin was up a bit on Monday, trading around 26,350. There was more than 3,795 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Monday, and about 143 such cancellations. Tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for $230 million jackpot or $107.9 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you still have the opportunity to do so. What do you think? 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 I don't know. I think it's interesting to still be able to play. Let's talk about some other stuff that is going on inside of the world. I saw something here. I had a friend of mine telling me yesterday about that there's a lot of train crashes that happen in South Florida. Well, unfortunately, I have a train crash that occurred in Florida, but it's not in South Florida. It's kind of in like mid-central Florida. The death toll now stands at 6 after a crash between a train and an SUV in Florida. Trey Thomas reports. Take a listen.
Video from the Saturday night accident shows the car moving slowly over a private train crossing with no lights or crossing arms.
We know that even from the witness that was parked by the tracks, that he also was hitting his horn of his vehicle, all trying to get the driver's attention.
The driver, 52-year-old Jose Hernandez, died Sunday morning at the hospital. The other victims include his wife, 9-year-old son, 17 and 22-year-old daughters, as well as 2 of his children's friends. I'm Trey Thomas.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of weird stuff going on there. I am sure we will find out more information. Take a listen to this. The new COVID shot rollout is running into a snafus, with some folks complaining they aren't getting their insurance company to cover the cost. Sarah Lee Kessler has more.
The Department of Health and Human Services is on it. Its top brass wrote to insurance companies on Friday that their obligation is to provide coverage and to pick up the tab for COVID-19 vaccines without any cost sharing. Those on Medicare or Medicaid are also entitled to free COVID shots, as well as children and the uninsured, through public-private partnerships. Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
So think about this real quick. Number one, you already heard people complaining about having to get a fourth shot, and now it's going to be difficult in regards of getting this shot because potentially your insurance provider might not pay for it. Listen, I'm not saying you need to do one or the other. That's entirely up to you. But what do you think about this? How does it make you feel? Yeah, I did say the feeling stuff. Is this something you're going to go out and do? I'm just asking because I'd love to know these things because I always think it's interesting. Anyways, let's continue talking. ChatGPT can now see, hear, speak spoken words, and process images. OpenAI, the company behind the generative AI program, said Monday that the latest update will let users opt into voice conversations and choose one of 5 voices for the AI to respond with. Take a listen.
You're going to have a new playmate soon.
You're going to have a new playmate soon.
You're going to have a new playmate soon. You're going to have a new playmate soon.
You're going to have a new playmate soon.
The changes can be rolled out over the next 2 weeks for paying customers. So what do you think? Is this something you're going to look into? I'm just asking because it's getting more and more interesting. I mean, think about how much it's advanced since we started first hearing about this and where we're at now. Interesting stuff, no doubt about that. Anyways, the Job Court pilot program in Wayne County is not being very well used so far, with prosecutor Kim Worth saying that they have 200 spots open for the program that has been running since June.
Our average age of the people in our program is 30. Most of the offenses that we have people charged with right now that are in the program are carrying concealed weapon offenses and lower level drug offenses.
Genesee and Marquette counties are also running the pilot program announced by the Attorney General Dana Nessel. Worthy says that they are still trying to get the word out about the program that is designed to reduce recidivism by getting people accused of lower level nonviolent crimes and chance to get work. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy says that the Job Court pilot program is seeking to keep people out of jail.
When someone looks at a prosecutor's office, they don't look at that as our mantra. They look at us as just putting people in jail, throwing away the key, and that's never been the mantra of this office.
I mean, hey, listen, it's what people think. That bad thing that people say that perception is reality. Yeah, it sucks, but hey, it's the way that things go. Anyways, listen to this one coming out of Pontiac, Michigan. Dealerships and repair shops are saying that they're getting ready for a potential lengthy strike by the UAW against the Detroit 3 automaker. Stan Scott of the Scott Auto Group says that they stocked up on the most common and often used part before the strike and says that they ain't having any issues yet.
When people have a car down, it's a huge inconvenience, right? So they want their car back as fast as possible. We want to get it repaired as fast as possible.
Okay, so he's urging anyone who needs to get something done with their vehicle to get it done soon, to avoid any kind of lengthy delay. Scott also says that he had several dealers that are also well stocked up with new vehicles for buyers. That's Scott and Scott Automaker added the parts of the repair shop in preparation of the UAW strike.
It's not a perfect science. You don't know exactly what part you're going to need, but the ones that you look at of the most utilized parts in your shop is what you want to start with.
Oil change stuff. I would imagine that has to be some of the most common stuff that goes on. Let's talk about Grand Rapids, Michigan for a moment. The nonprofit Kids Food Market will hold an event from noon to 6 p.m. on Thursday to decorate 2,000 paper bags with a signature supper program. KFB President and CEO Bridget Clark Whitney says the community is invited to the headquarters in Grand Rapids to help.
We're really excited about it. We're super pumped about the community enthusiasm, and every single decorated bag means a touch of love.
Oh, there you go. A touch of love. Decorated bags can also be dropped off for any kids' food basket location. They serve about 10,000 meals every weekday to kids in different sections of Michigan. KFAB President and CEO invites the people to help decorate the bag for the food donation.
A lot of people say, well, I'm not an artist. You don't need to be an artist. Mine are all inspirational messages. You are an awesome person. Have a great day. Remember that you are loved.
That stuff's very important to talk about and to think about and all that kind of fun stuff. So keep that in mind. Take a listen to this real quick because you might want to hear this. Pedestrian fatalities are becoming a disturbing trend in Colorado after 4 people were hit and killed in Denver Metro just over the weekend. Sam Cole, the traffic safety manager for the CDOT, says that this year is on pace to surpass last year and was the deadliest one in state history.
It's not just the last year. We've seen number of pedestrians killed in the state of Colorado double over the last 10 years. I was thinking last year was going to be the record year, but now it looks like this year will be the record year.
Last year, 111 pedestrians were killed in Colorado roads. More than 80 people have been killed so far this year, 12% more than this time in 2022. Cole says that the areas with the biggest increase are Jefferson, El Paso, and Pueblo counties. He believes that the solution is ultimately behavioral and depends on both the drivers and the pedestrians. CDOT will be placing bright safety reminders at 5 busy intersections in Denver and Aurora symbols to raise awareness for the pedestrian safety. Pedestrian Sam Dewey reacts to 4 people being hit and killed in Denver over the weekend. Take a listen.
I'd say that's a shocking amount. I really didn't think that there were going to be that many just in one weekend alone. You have to be careful and very cognizant of when you're going to cross.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But listen, let's talk about some of this stuff. Those pedestrian walkways where you hit the button, and I'm not talking about the one that's flashing at the traffic light. I'm talking about the ones that actually flash on the ground that kind of let somebody know that somebody's on the verge of actually of crossing, and it flashes pretty brightly. I know they have some here in Florida. If you've ever been down to St. Petersburg, Florida, there's a shitload of them down there. I think it's a great idea. If somebody can actually make those kind of like the standard, things might get a little bit better. A little bit better. Just throwing that out there as an idea to think of. No doubt about that. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we do this? It is 32 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's get into that thing that we call our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Main story, Rated R Safety Show. That's what it's about. That's what we do. This is kind of the things that we get into and talk about what the hell is going on inside of the industry. The things that are going on inside of what is happening, that kind of fun stuff. So I have to ask you a question. I'm a big believer that you need to stay updated with what the hell is going on with the market. How do you feel about me making that comment? Is that something that you can agree with? Is that something you can stand behind? Or do you disagree? I mean, and it's open to interpretation, of course. Now, listen, I have no problem with people staying up to date with what the hell is going on with the market. Because if you didn't, you probably would be losing trends. You'd be losing out on what the hell's happening, and you wouldn't be up to date with the greatest and the latest. But I am so confused on, number one, the amount of new books that come out that is someone's interpretation of somebody else's work, and they use it as their own. Listen, I was going through a book that I was looking at, written by 4 authors. It was 4 authors. One of them had the main portion of the book. And then there was matter of fact, I lied to you. It wasn't 4, it was 3. 3 authors. One of them had the main portion of the book, and then there was 2 co-writers that kind of was taking a look at his work. But it was all based on somebody else's work. And the person that the work was based off of was never involved in the book whatsoever. And I'm coming to the portion where I'm actually seeing trends where I'm getting interpretation of other people's books from different writers. And I just don't know if that's a benefit. Now, listen, if somebody comes to you and says, hey, I want you to write a revision to a book that I put out, and I want you to kind of lean whichever way you want with it, okay, that's a different story because somebody's asking you to do it. But when you kind of take it upon yourself and say, hey, I'm going to write this book about what I've been influenced by, it kind of makes it a little weird. It does. It really does. And listen, there's all kinds of books that come out all the time. And what I've thought has been funny kind of or as of late is these people that are putting out pamphlets. And what do I mean when I say pamphlets? They're putting out a 9-page book that they will in return try to sell on Amazon. And all of a sudden they can turn around and say that they are an author. And listen, it's not a bad gig on regards of doing it. But there have been some that I am not sure what this 9-page pamphlet consists of once I take a look at it, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me because it's not life-changing event stuff. And then I have the other ones that are having their information driven towards kid-style books. That way they can say that they're an author as well. Now, listen, you do you. It's good and all that. But I'm so confused on what is going on with our industry. I get so confused. And listen, I'm not trying to have sour grapes here. Opportunity to do books has been plenty in regards of what I have going on here. But let me explain the reason why yours truly has not written a book. The people that I hang with write books. The people that I look up to write books. And I don't think that there's anything inside of that wheelhouse that's going to come out that I'm going to be able to write that they can't explain better than I can. And I know that this clip might come back to haunt me later on in life because that's the way that the world works. But as we speak as of today, September the 26th of 2023, I just don't see where I will have a benefit added. Now, I have been asked, and it was asked some time ago, to revise a book that I love and give my new interpretation of this book, but the book came out like 20 some odd years ago. I've done some work on it, but I have not released it because I'm not happy with what I've came up with. I still love the original, even though, it's the original book, if you looked at it today, would not be politically correct based on how some people look at things. Just the reality of the situation. So with that being said, what do you think about new books? What do you think about how they read and what they consist of? I'm just asking. Because if you're going around and putting out books, remember that book will be tied into you for the rest of your life. You might also even want to be careful on what you title some of these things because it could be extremely dangerous.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Well, you know that here at Safety FM and Radio Big, we're always trying to look for life hacks. So with the busy season just around the corner, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for your jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kits, can help you fuel up with fast chef prepared, dietitian approved, and ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Refresh your healthy habits without missing a beat. Choose from 34 weekly flavored packs. dietitian-approved meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. All you need to do is head over to factorsmeals.com/safetyfm50 and use code safetyfm50 to get 50% off. That's code safetyfm50 at factormeals.com/safetyfm50 to get 50% off. Go there. Do it now.
US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello.
Radio in USA, Canada, UK.
Crew heading east, got a booking tonight. First stop is Atlanta. I got breakfast plans at the Waffle House. Next up is Miami. I'm hitting South Beach. What we talking about? Show out, we in Brooklyn. I'm on Flatbush and we rocking out. Then a red eye to Los Angeles. Got a rich bitch waiting on the couch. Life's gonna try to hold you back. They gon' tell you that you still got time. Any minute this could all fade to black. That's why we run it up. I want more, it's not enough. I ain't come for the runner up. I go win, I'ma win a cup. I go win, I'ma fuck it up. I ain't gon' lose, I'ma level up. I've been down, but I got tough. Hey, run it up, run it up, run it up. Run it up, run it back.
So there you go. This is the Rated R Safety Show. This right here, this is Run It Up. This is Michael Jan. Yep. I tell you, we play a little bit of everything because I just love it. So we'd like to thank Cliff Jan for allowing us to play this here. You can give it a little download action. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music.
Tell you that you still got time. Any minute this could all fade to black.
So there you go.
That's why we run it up. I want more.
Yep, run it up.
when it cut. I go in, I'ma fuck it up. Ain't gon' lose, I'ma level up.
I know. Some people are going to be like, oh, there's language. There's language on your show. Yeah, I use language all the time. You know, words, that's language. So there you go. Okay, so anyways, let's get back into the move and the groove of the things that we have going on here on the Jay Allen of the Morning Show, because this is hour number 1 of 3, also known as the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, you know, at the top of the hour, we will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to go over there and hang out with us, because, you know, that's what we do. We'll also be broadcasting on Safety FM today, live from the, you know, from Safety Day, from the Rosen Plaza. If you are in Orlando, we would love to see you there. Love to see you there. Come out and hang out and do the fun stuff. Yeah. I'll be hanging out next to the coffee, not because I drink it, just because that's where I hang. You know, I want to get to hang out and interact with some people. Anyway, so with that being said, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the most important thing that I am ever going to tell you in my lifetime. Yeah, seriously, I'm not joking as I say this. And that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. Listen, no matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. To Write Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are now and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to twloha.com. That's twloha.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Listen, things are not easy, and sometimes people don't want to have this discussion because for some reason, for years, people have put some bad stigma with this. Well, let's not do that. People need people. We need to talk. We need to discuss the things that are going on, and there is no issue with it. It is okay to talk about your feelings. It's okay about talking about not, you know, having an easy time with stuff. Things do occur, so keep that in mind as we are talking. Find out more information, twloha.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. There you go. twloha.com. Click on the section that says Find Help. There you go. Let's get into some more things that are going on inside of this world of ours, because, hey, that's what we do. We talk about it. We do the things that are going on. So let's get into it for some information. Dads, it's not exactly a huge sacrifice, but if you want your kids to do well in school, one of the best things you can do is this: play with them. A study from the University of Leeds found that the children do better in school if their dads engage in activities with them, like reading, drawing, singing, and telling stories. The researchers studied 5,000 households in England, observing the test scores of 5 to 7-year-olds. The study found that dad's involvement with their kids improved their grades in school, no matter the child's age, gender, ethnicity, and family household income. Moms who similarly spent quality time with their kids had more of an impact on social development than on grades. Man, I hate to imagine how many grades I would have flunked if my dad didn't hang out with me so much as a kid. Yeah, maybe so better grades or not, there's no way my family is going to let me sing with anyone. I mean, I'm just saying. You know, now that I think about it, I think there was all kinds of grades that I flunked when I was younger.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about some interesting developments. Costco has released a Monopoly game inspired by the warehouse store, where there's no membership required. The classic Monopoly game has been revamped with gamers the full Costco experience, where the classic board game pieces have been replaced with Costco's faves, like the $1.50 hot dog combo, a pizza slice, and a jumbo shopping cart. Chance and community chess cards have been relabeled with Gold Star and executive membership cards. The game board featured the artwork of a busy Costco store. Properties like Boardwalk and Broadway and Park Place are replaced with warehouse locations from the stores worldwide. And famous Go to Jail board appears, you guessed it, to Costco travel. Can I get a free sample? So there you go. I thought it was going to say go to Sam's or something like that, because that would have been funny. I mean, I'm just saying. There you go. Anyways, take a listen to this. Hasbro has unveiled the first ever Nerf-themed land at Beto Carreira World Theme Park in Brazil, set to open October the 12th. Nerf Mania is a 4,000 square foot meter attraction featuring family-friendly rides, a themed restaurant, and a Nerf shop. Experience includes Nerf Arcade, Super Soaker Splash Aquatic Attraction, and Spin Blast Adventure Disc Ride. Beto Carrera World is the largest theme park in Latin America. Better go on opening day because the history is indication all Nerf bullets will be lost after that, because that's just the way that things go. I'm just saying, don't be mad at me. That's the way that it happens.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
So I got something to say here. Let's talk about the top 5 fast food mascots, and I want you to get your opinion on this. According to experts, and by expert I mean a bunch of people who have spent way too much time thinking about stuff like this, here's 5 to 1, 1 to 5. In the number 5 spot is Jack Box from Jack in the Box. And number 4 is Wendy's Wendy. And number 3 is the King from Burger King. And number 2 is Ronald McDonald. And the number 1 mascot for fast food is Colonel Sanders from KFC. I don't know if I believe that. Like, seriously, I'm having a hard time with that one. So there you go. Colonel Sanders from KFC is the numero uno spotto. So think about it. Some stuff to think about, that's for sure. Anyways, this is the Jay Allen in the Morning Show on Radio Big and also on Safety FM, which is known as the Rated R Safety Show. Why don't we talk a little bit more about some other stuff that's going on? Because I think it's important to talk about. So take a listen to this. A new face will join the picket line alongside the United Auto Workers members in Michigan later today. NBC Jay's Gray explains.
Later today, President Joe Biden expected to be the first sitting president to join striking union workers during a walkout.
The press secretary says the president was also going to stand on the side of the workers and hoping to win-win agreement. Union members are striking against the big 3 automakers, calling it higher wages and job protection. Biden says that the workers made sacrifices a decade ago when the industry faced financial turmoil.
I think the UAW gave up an incredible amount back when the automobile industry was going under. And I think that now that the industry is roaring back, they should participate in the benefit.
Okay, so picketers say that they're not going anywhere until they get what they deserve.
We will fight until we win.
We will fight until we win. And, I have a hard time going to the bargaining table regardless of what side you stand on, because there has to be a mutual agreement. If you go into a negotiation where I have to have all of this and that's it, regardless of what side you're on, it's not really a negotiation. It's like, okay, that's it. Until you give me everything, I ain't doing shit. No, seriously. There you go. Anyways, 52 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's get everything rolling with some John Smalls in the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Heidi. Sofo Archon said, "What's the best way to control people? Divide them into different ideological groups, and they'll soon start fighting against each other. This way, they will forget who their true enemy is." Sadly, this happens all the time, in office settings, in politics and religion, in life in general. Instead of letting anyone divide you and tell you who to dislike, think for yourself. I have many friends who are complete opposite of me in many different areas of our lives, but I pride myself in being able to rise above that and have a meaningful conversation about things we do agree on. Now, does that mean I'm going to change their mind on those other things? Not at all. I'll most likely not even attempt to. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Well, vaping has never been considered healthy, but a new study shows it may be more dangerous than you think. Researchers at the Texas A&M School of Public Health now finding a link between e-cigarettes and asthma. The study found vaping increases the risk of asthma in adolescents by 32%. Nearly 2 in 3 American teenagers admit vaping. The CDC has now signed off on the recommendation that pregnant women should get an RSV vaccine at 32 to 36 weeks gestation in order to protect their newborns from RSV. It's already been approved by the FDA, but it spurs the production of antibodies in the mother that transfers through the placenta. Grant money will now allow researchers in Virginia to join others in learning more about Alzheimer's disease. Matt McClure has more.
Virginia Tech researchers will study Alzheimer's disease and whether steady exercise during advancing age might help. The National Institutes of Health awarded the college $3.3 million in grants to see if steady exercise will have an effect on Alzheimer's disease.
Health Update, Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio.
Here is another bit for our competitors to copy. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 54 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out doing that thing that we do. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this day. As I take a look around, let's see. What year do we want to go to? Let's go to 1981. Nolan Ryan throws his 5th no-hitter, making a new National League record. He finished his career with 7 and still holds the record in the Major League Baseball. Ryan also finished his career with 5,714 strikeouts, another Major League Baseball record, and 800 ahead of Randy Johnson, who holds the 2nd spot. So there you go. That happened back on this date. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Buddy Matthews turns 35, Neb Schulman 39, Manny Montana 40, Damian Priest turns 41, Asuka turns 42, Christina Milian and Serena Williams all turn 42 as well. Beto O'Rourke turns 51. Jim Caviezel turns 55. Linda Hamilton turns 57. Carlene Carter, 68. And Ken McCord turns 81 today. So there you go. That's some birthdays that are going on today if you were looking for some. So there you go. Some things going on right there, as we always are talking. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, we have some of those as well. It's Lumberjack Day, National Johnny Appleseed Day, Human Resources Professional Day, Shamu, the Whale Day, National Chimichanga Day, and National Dumpling Day. I don't make these days up. These are the days that are given to me on a list. Yeah, you just made the list. So yeah, I don't know which one you want to celebrate, but you got some options there. That's for sure. Sounds like it, doesn't it? At least it sounds like you got some things to celebrate. Maybe you just do a mixture of all of them and see what happens. Let's talk about some whack facts real quick. If you started with 1 cent and doubled your money every day, it would take you 27 days to become a millionaire. The word biweekly has 2 different definitions, twice a week or once every 2 weeks. Mona Lisa was stolen from the Louvre. In 1911, they actually drew more visitors to see the empty space than came to see the actual painting. It takes longer to say www than it does World Wide Web because of the syllables. UK's Royal Mall estimated that in 2015 it would cost $15,215 to send a letter to Mars. Oh, it says mall, but it should have said mail. Oops. Female dragonflies will fake their own death to avoid mating with unwanted males. Boy, does that sound way too familiar. Oh, hold on. What am I saying out loud there? So there you go. Should I give you new paper toilet slogans? Yeah, let's do that. When duty calls. We're number 1 at taking care of number 2. Wipe right. Treat your seat with the sheets. Good to the last plop. We've got your backside. Because who else will handle your crap? The cat puke picker upper. It sure beats the alternative. So there you go. Maybe that's some things to think about. I know. Who does this?
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's give you a random joke for today. Fish are caught and released in an aquatic equivalent of people who claim that they were abducted by aliens. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What's the most epic way that you've seen someone quit or be fired? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. Question, on average, people have 240 of these. What are they? Nose hairs. There you go. So that's going to sum it up. Anyways, thank you for hanging out with me on this lovely Tuesday. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm, going to do the stuff that we do. I'm talking about the world of music and entertainment. Also, if you are at Safety Day, or if you're in Orlando, you can come by Safety Day at the Rosen Plaza. Would love to see you hang out and do some things there. That is for sure. So there you go. That's some stuff. That's some stuff to do. Anyways, with that being said, that's going to sum up our time together. Sheldon Prime is coming up on Safety FM if you want to listen to the life of safety consulting on how to do it. That's for sure. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Your present circumstances don't determine where you can go. They merely determine where you start. Think about that. Anyways, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do what we do around here. I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Show out, we in Brooklyn, I'm on Flatbush and we rocking out. Then a red eye to Los Angeles, got a rich bitch waiting on the couch. Life's gonna try to